Hi, my name is Jacob Beck, and this is how to sharpen like a pro. I'm going to wear an action cam so that you can find this same footage from my point of view, or POV. It might be easier to repeat if you see what I see. So today I'm going to sharpen my signature knife. This is HAP40 steel, some of the hardest modern knife steel made in Japan. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I usually don't use sharpening angles because the angle already on the knife kind of determines the angle I'm going to sharpen at, but usually it's around 12 to 14 degrees. Sometimes a bit lower, it very much depends. I will start sharpening with moderate pressure, not very hard because the plated diamond stone, this is a relatively new plated diamond stone, 250 grit, is very rough. So this is for edge profiling only. And I will frequently test or check my progress to make sure that I am keeping a consistent angle and height on my edge bevel. I move to the other side. When you start out, of course, the resistance is going to be a little bit higher because you've already formed some amount of burr on the other side. See, check for burr, and I have formed the burr all the way except for the very tip. So I'm just gonna continue. Putting a very light amount of pressure on the very tip. And here you can see that there's a shiny spot up here. I just want to redefine or re-establish the scratch pattern on the edge. And there we go. And now I want to raise the edge bevel as on the other side. So that's the same on both sides. And now I'm going to check for a burr, and I have formed the burr along the entire knife. Now I will go directly to the bonded diamond stones, skipping the finer side. And I like to start with 1000 grit bonded diamond. I use a very little amount of water, so these stones are splash and go. And as like before, I will check pretty frequently, both for burr and consistency, the edge height, look of the scratch pattern, just to check myself, but also to make sure that what I'm doing is going to end up beautiful. And that's pretty much it for the 1000 grit. I will continue a little bit longer because the 1000 grit is going to refine the scratch pattern to remove the deeper scratches easier than the higher grits. So I like to do another pass on each side, just to give a nicer finish in the end. There we go. Now I will move on to 3000 grit. Same like before, you do not need a lot of water. There we go. And you can also hear that the sound, it's not at all as rough. feel for the burr. I'll move to the other side. Here we go. I formed the burr the entire way. And that's actually it for the 3000 grit bonded diamond stone. I will move right on up to 6000 grit. And I would say from 6000 and upwards, it's more polishing than sharpening. But it also helps minimize the burr. That's it for the 6000. And I will move up to 12,000 grit. Just a very little bit of water. There we go. So I like to do my burr minimization by moving from side to side. I know, or I've learned recently that it's apparently not very common, but that's what I do. So whatever works for you, you don't have to sharpen like me. These videos are meant as a guide for those that need it, but I'm also trying to illustrate how diamond stones doesn't have to break the bank anymore, and it is the fastest way to sharpen nowadays. No matter what steel you're trying to sharpen, diamond will cut into it. It's going to remove material a lot faster. And the reason that what keeps people from learning how to sharpen nowadays, more than anything else, is that it takes so long to sharpen on the stones that are most prevalent nowadays. And you simply, as a beginner, you simply cannot keep a consistent angle by hand for the time needed to sharpen your knife with sharpening stones that don't remove enough material quickly enough. So this is pretty much it. Have a very nice, beautiful, shiny edge. I could continue to polish this longer, but I don't think it's necessary to spend that much time. Like, you can have a beautiful mirror polished edge if you spend the time on it, but I don't think it's necessary. I think this is more than enough. It depends. Like, if you are a knife sharpener, you might want to, to offer that service to your clients, but then I would say it's going to cost extra because it's going to take extra time. Boom. And that's it for the 12,000. I will finish on my leather strop. I just go straight to the finer side with 1.5 W or 1 to 2 micron diamond polishing compound or stropping compound. There we go. And now the knife should be sharp enough to easily cut through newspaper roll. And it should also be sharp enough to easily cut through a tomato. Let's see, come on. There we go. Very nice thin slice. Like, I could spend more time on it, but I don't think it's necessary. Most people want to sharpen their knives quickly, and I don't think you need to overcomplicate it. Everyone can learn how to sharpen, even you.